2020. It has dramatically disrupted the economic sectors. Most countries recorded their gross domestic products plunged to the lowest level in decades. Meanwhile, their unemployment figures rose sharply. The government services, especially public healthcare, were stretched out to their limit in fighting the pandemic. 2020, it has dramatically disrupted the economic sectors. Most countries recorded major healthcare activities. Other services, such as education and various regulatory delivery and enforcements, are also impacted. The governments are forced to create the stimulus to ensure people are protected. Billions of dollars of economic stimulus are pumped into the economy to avoid market failure. The World Economic Forum 2021 has urged countries should capitalize on resetting their business models during the recovery period. Professor Klaus Schwab, the founder and executive chairman of WEF, stated, "The pandemic represents a rare but narrow window opportunity to reflect, reimagine, and reset our world. Every country, including Malaysia, should reset and revive for a better and sustainable economy. The priorities for restoring and transformation are towards the new economic systems that combine productivity, people, and planet targets. They are categorized into 4 areas of action. First, reviving and transforming the enabling environment. Public institutions should embed strong governance principles, long-term vision, and delivery of public services digitally. ICT infrastructure needs to be upgraded to enable the services, and closing the digital divide are key focus areas. Second, reviving and transforming human capital, workforce reskilling and upskilling, update education curricula and expand investment in skills for future jobs. Labour laws and social protection need to be redesigned towards the new economy. Third, reviving transforming market. Incentives should prioritise the direct financial resources towards long-term investments, strengthen stability and expand inclusion. Facilitation of the market of tomorrow, especially in public-private collaboration, should be emphasised. In addition, an agile regulatory framework to enable 4th industrial revolution must be established. Fourth, reviving and transforming the innovation ecosystem. Incentives in research, innovation and invention that can create the market of tomorrow are essential. In addition, firms should be promoted to embrace diversity, equality and inclusion to enhance creativity. Malaysia should not miss this reset and reviving opportunity to design the foundations for a productive country for future generations. This message is brought to you by Malaysia Productivity Corporation.
With Industry Forward webinar on Yang Berusaha Puan Safniawati Jasri, Deputy Director Malaysia Productivity Corporation MPC. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning and welcome to the Road Ahead with Industry Forward webinar on Industrial Lean 4.0. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Nur Husna from Malaysia Productivity Corporation as the MC for today's webinar session. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ministry of International Trade and Industry (MITI) is driving the Industry Forward initiative to transform the manufacturing industry in Malaysia toward Industry 4.0 adoption. Lean is a well-established concept that has improved productivity and the customer experience for countless organizations. Now, with the Industry 4.0 enhancer like IoT and advanced data analysis, organizations will gain a clearer understanding of the entire value chain to inform lean improvement opportunities and ultimately gain competitive advantage. And this webinar will guide organizations on their Lean Industry 4.0 and also as they progress in their digital transformation journey. So without further ado, to continue with our first agenda, I would like to invite Puan Safniwati Jasri, our Deputy Director of MPC, to deliver her welcoming remarks. Please welcome.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera. Thank you again for our MC today, Cik Nurul Husna Abdul Rashid, for the introduction. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude to our speaker today, Mr. Haris Zahari, Principal Consultant from Intech ProLink. Thank you for accepting to be our speaker today and share your knowledge and experience to all the audience. I would also like to thank all the participants today for joining this webinar organized by Malaysia Productivity Corporation. We have 154 registered participants and hope all of them can join us today. For your information, the theme of this webinar is The Road Ahead with Industry Forward, and the title is Lean Industrial 4.0. The objective of this webinar are to share the future of Lean in era of digitalization and automation, and to share on how Lean management still relevant and coexists with Industry Revolution and the future of it. Ladies and gentlemen, the 12 Malaysia Plan will focus on propelling on number of potential growth drivers, leveraging advanced technology and digitalization in line with the National Fourth Industrial Revolution policy and Malaysia Digital Economy Blueprint. In this regard, the development of strategic and high-impact industry will be accelerated, while the capabilities of entrepreneurs and enterprise, particularly MSMEs, will be enhanced. The successful implementation of these measures will strengthen the competitiveness and twisted tongues, sorry for that, of the economy and position Malaysia as an important player in the global supply chain for the complex and high value-added product and service. Fellow participants, technology adoption and innovation are fundamental enabling factor that will catalyze growth across all sectors. The digitalization process will be accelerated and the adoption of advanced technology, particularly the fourth industry revolution technology, will be promoted in achieving a high technology-based economy. Technology adoption and innovation will be promoted by increasing R&D take-up and strengthening research collaboration between MSMEs, industry expert and academia. Targeted assistance and access to financing will be improved for the development and adoption of new technology. Ladies and gentlemen, training and development program related to automation, digitalization, and Industry 4.0 will be strengthened to upskill and reskill talent in supporting technology adoption and automation. Therefore, it is hoped that all participants today will be able to take advantage of the facility provided by the government, especially what is contained in Rancangan Malaysia ke-12. Together, we improve efficiency through the implementation of Industry 4.0 and contribute to high technology-based economy. I also hope the participant will take this opportunity to engage with the speaker during the Q&A session to get a better understanding how Industry 4.0 can bring success to your organization. Stay safe, stay healthy, and let's innovate to boost productivity and have a productive session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Puan Safniwati Jasri, for the welcoming remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin the webinar, let me share a little bit about our speaker for today. Mr. Haris Zahari been in continuous improvement field for the past decade ago, where he received his Lean Six Sigma certification from American Society for Quality, Petronas, and also Six Sigma Council, and also a lot of things to ponder with him. So that's why we choose him as the speaker for today's session. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed, If you have any questions during this webinar, please post in the chat box and speaker will answer it at the end of the session. And so without further delay, I would like to invite Mr. Haris Zahari to begin the session. The floor is yours, Mr. Zahari.
Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning. First at all, thank you to MPC for having me in here. It is my honor to share with participants, the audience, on the Lean Industrial 4.0. Okay, let me share my slide. As mentioned by Cik Husna, Lean is not something new. Lean has been practiced in the industry for many decades, many years ago. And the Lean methodology basically is a methodology that revolutionized the businesses since more than 50 years ago to reduce the operational complexity and to improve the productivity. And it's known with the tools and the concepts such as the JIT, the standardization, the 5S, and so on. And this principle integrated into the business DNA since many years ago. Based on the recent global survey by the Boston Consulting Group, the BCG, they found that 97% from the 750 production managers in the automotive industry, they agree that lean management still relevant in even 2030. Before we explore in details about the Lean Industry 4.0, well, what is the lean management and what is the IR 4.0? As I believe a lot of us know what is lean. Basically, the lean management is derived from the Toyota production system methodology. This particular methodology is focusing to reduce the complexity in the process by eliminating waste, eliminating non-value-added activities throughout the whole process and the value chain. And initially, Lean was known as the for its tool, such as the 5S, the Kanban, Andon, and many of other tools. Somehow, in these recent years, the understanding of Lean evolved into richer appreciation of its power in the management system of the Lean itself. Whereas it does not only depend on the tools, whereas we look at the Lean as the management system, such as how they appreciate the customer by understanding what customer needs, and the business should deliver the output as expected by the customer efficiently, and how Lean also enable the workers to contribute to the fullest potential, and how Lean also constantly searching for the better ways of working. So basically, Lean currently is not only tools, it is beyond than that. It's become the management system. And nowadays, Lean one of the most significant management ideas for last more than 50 years. And the track record in Lean, even in Malaysia, it's been used for improve the performance and productivity. And even we can see this application have been extended to other non-manufacturing sectors as well. Now we can see a lot of banking using Lean, healthcare. Even in Malaysia, we do have a lot of hospitals that implementing Lean in their hospitals, the construction company, logistic, and many more. Now, it is not a taboo when non-manufacturing organization implementing Lean within the organization. However, this traditional production system has evolved into digitalized one due to Industrial Revolution 4.0 or IR 4.0. The IR 4.0 is the technological advancement powered by the 9 foundation of pillars, such as the big data, cloud computing, robotic, and so on and so forth. This technology basically can interact and analyze the data to predict the failure, to reconfigure themselves and to adapt the change. Basically, the IR 4.0 has started to be recognized as the paradigm. It based on adoption of the communication and information technology, and now the organization use it to lead their businesses to be to better performance. Yeah, and briefly, basically when we look at the IR 4.0, it's incorporate all of the modern computerization and automation technologies. Now the business can utilize to connect a variety function tasks in their production system. Now everything is integrated by using the IR 4.0. So in other words, the IR 4.0 actually is the center of the advanced technology in the organization. And by implementing the IR 4.0, we can see the organization will benefit from the revenue revenue gains. They will face the increase of efficiency and productivity, reduce the machine breakdown, faster cycle time, and a lot of other benefits. Then we are concerned about, will the IR 4.0 replace the Lean in future? Because the IR 4.0 is a new thing, yeah? And the Lean was established since 1950s, 1930s. Yeah? So if they can coexist, yeah, how this Lean and IR 4.0 basically compatible and share the synergies to each other, or this IR 4.0 and Lean basically different to each other. Yeah. Then we need to look at this Lean and IR 4.0. Basically, both are the industrial paradigm, and the philosophy is to provide the central base of the design operation. Yeah. As the totality in the operation within the organization. Unlike the IR 4.0 that relies on the modern technology to address the contemporary problem within the organization. However, Lean is a method that focusing on the people, process, and the culture of continuous improvement to address the issue within the organization. At the first glance, maybe we look at the Lean principle that on the people orientation are simplicity and antagonistic towards the IR 4.0, the advanced technology, the advanced approach. Yeah, maybe we can see it look like they don't share the same synergy to each other, but it is essential for us to keep in our minds. Basically, despite of all of this high technology driven approach, the Lean that based on the people, process, and the culture still play a critical role in this modern digitalization. If even with the high advancement of the automation application within the organization, we still rely on human, we still rely on people to design, to program, to operate, to maintain equipments and machines, even the robotic as well. We still not live in the Terminator era where the Skynet take over the world and start to dominate the world. Okay, see, so we still need to rely on human to make this particular task. Therefore, the short answer, will IR 4.0 replace Lean? The answer is no. The answer is no. IR 4.0 will not quite opposite. They will coexist. since the implementation of the IR 4.0 require effective and efficient process as a precondition. And this effective and efficient process you only can achieve by implementing Lean. After all, as mentioned by Bill Gates in the rule of automation, if automation any efficient process, it will magnify the efficiency. But if you apply the automation to inefficient process, it will magnify the inefficiency. In recent years, we have seen basically some of the organization start to generate the valuable synergy between the Lean by implementing the Lean and IR 4.0. This is what we call as the Lean Industry 4.0 or Lean 4.0. Although the implement both of Lean and IR 4.0 is very clear to many businesses, but most of them still uncertain on how can we combine these approaches to maximize the benefit. Yeah? And it is important for them to address the right issue, yeah, to be solved using this approach. And when we talk about the synergy between the Lean, or maybe some of us have the skeptical minded. It is possible for this 50, 60 years old methodology can integrate with something so advanced. Then we need to understand. Since Taiichi Ohno, the godfather of Toyota production system, since the Taiichi Ohno and the team perfected the Toyota production system in 1950s, basically the methodology itself has evolved to still relevant for the industry. Yeah? In 2001, we have seen Michael George wrote a book called Lean Six Sigma. This is for the first time. This is when Lean methodology was integrated with another methodology called Six Sigma. Yeah, the problem-solving methodology using the statistical tools. Since then, Lean Six Sigma has been generally recognized as one of the best practice for the operational excellence. Yeah. Even in 2006, there is one company called Corbis. Corbis is a media company owned by Bill Gates. Yeah, and this Corbis, this company basically was adopt the Kanban principle. Sounds familiar? Kanban principle. One of the principle that discovered by in the Toyota production system by Taiichi Ohno. They adopt this Kanban principle and use it in this software development cycle. They use it not for the quality improvement, but for the software development cycle. And since then, the Kanban become one of the most common tool in the software development process. Since 1950s until today, we have seen a lot more of other improvisation and evolution on Lean. Other than this, we can see how the transformation or the evolution from the classical Kanban cut into the Kanban system, computerized system. We have seen how people turn from the classical VSM into the EVSM. And this transformation or evolution basically is to ensure the methodology still relevant and updated for the industry. Yeah. So the adaptation of the IR 4.0 is not something, it's not a taboo move. It's not a taboo move for Lean management. It's not something new. Okay, it just evolved. The methodology itself is evolving, is improving over the time. Okay, based on the research by the KTO in Singapore, the Knowledge Transfer Office in Singapore, in previous years, since last few years back, we have seen how lean implementation was able to improve the competitiveness for the business. So these businesses who implemented lean, they can outperform the competitors. They can compete. They can provide a good quality of product at the best cost at the right time. So their competitiveness is higher compared to the rest of competitors. However, nowadays, since the IR 4.0 become the license of play, now the technology, the technology in information is a different thing. Even now, people say the information is the new oil. The new oil. So if the business want to implement lean as the sole paradigm in operational excellence, so the competitiveness of these businesses will go down, because the IR 4.0 is the critical differentiator nowadays in the information age. So in this, if the business implemented lean, is good. However, since this business environment is dynamic, so we need to keep ourselves updated and change to compete in the ecosystem. Hence, by integrating Lean and IR 4.0, it will increase the competitiveness compared to the rest. So Lean itself is good, but nowadays it is not sufficient. Now we want to see how Lean and IR 4.0 can coexist together. First, we need to understand, as I mentioned earlier, Lean is the foundation of IR 4.0. It is precondition before you implement Lean. You need to ensure the process is efficient and effective. By implementing Lean upfront, before you you digitalize the process, you will remove the inefficiency and waste in the process. So this scenario, it will avoid you from digitalize the waste. We don't want you digitalize or automate the waste. Hence, later on, if you automate the waste, you will magnify the effect of waste. You will multiply the effect of waste. You are effectively creating, or you are effectively creating an efficient process. So by implementing Lean, basically the business also can identify what is the value creation within the organization, and we can use the IR 4.0 to magnify the effect of this value creation. Finally, the streamlined process can be achieved in Lean, as I mentioned earlier, and it is foundation of the production design. So after that, we can implement the IR 4.0 to boost up the effect of the efficiency. And we also need to look at the IR 4.0 is not something antagonistic with Lean. It will accelerate the effect of Lean. For example, IR 4.0 able to reduce the effort for waste identification in the process by using the sensors, by using the IoT. We can identify where is the waste happen in the process and what are the parameters that contribute to this waste. And indirectly, we can find what is the best, or we can refine the tune of the process to ensure the waste is not happening in the process. Then IR 4.0 also allow the virtual collaboration and learning. As we know, in Lean implementation, it involves a lot of learning process. You do have the first, you do have the Lean training, and then maybe you need to you need to conduct the Kaizen workshop, collaborate with another team. Nowadays, even post-pandemic COVID-19, we basically we are more focusing to digitalize the process and the collaboration. Yes, collaboration is good, but face-to-face collaboration is something that we try to avoid nowadays. So by using the IR 4.0, basically it can provide the proper platform of the learning and collaboration. Even it can shorten the process of the collaboration and learning. For instance, just like this session today, let's imagine what will happen if we conduct this session physically. If MPC conduct this session physically, maybe some of us need to travel from Johor to KL. But nowadays, you can access to this webinar wherever you in this, as long you have access to internet, then you can access to the learning. Yeah. Same goes in the IR 4.0. And finally, IR 4.0 will magnify the efficiency of the process. This is not something new in lean management. Yeah. As we know, in the classical lean house, there is one tool, we call it as the Jidoka, the automation. This is categorized as the advanced lean tool. You will apply the Jidoka, this automation, once the process is efficient and free from waste. Then you start to automate it. So, the concept of Jidoka still applicable, but nowadays, it just matter on how machine interact with us. 40 years, the machine, the interaction between machine is based on the human. Human, we are the one who need to preset. We are the one who need to identify what is the optimal setting of the machine. However, nowadays, the machine can communicate to each other. So the data acquisitions become easier and faster. Then, if we look at this paradigm, this is this chart. This is provided by the BCG, based on the BCG analysis. We can see a few phases of application in operational excellence. The initial phase, whereas some of organization, they are not deploying any operational excellence approach, neither Lean or IR 4.0. In this situation, they might have the multiple process flow. They might have multiple procedures. Even maybe they do not have the procedures at all. The standardization just matter of luck. If we find, if we can achieve the standardization, it's good. Okay, it's just matter of luck since you do not have the procedures and so on. And this organization that do not embrace any of operational excellence, most of the process are manual, and they are depend on the output inspection. Output inspection, whereas it will create the ataupun it will embrace the rework process. If you find the non-conformance at the output part, then you need to rework process. So in Lean, we want to identify what is the critical input, then we want to control it. We act reactively. Okay. But some organization, they have implemented some a few types of operational excellence approach. Yeah? In this situation, we will focus on the Lean and IR 4.0. Yeah? Some organization, they implement the Lean as they individually based on BCG research. Yeah? Even though they achieve the standardization, even though they able to mistake proof the process, but we can see they will gain 15 to 20% of cost reduction in 10 years time. Yeah? While if the company implement IR 4.0 alone, yeah, whereas people follow the digital SOP, the robotics start to take over the routine tasks. However, the process efficiency and the quality issue persists. This organization, the BCG, expecting they will save ataupun they will gain the cost saving about 10 to 15% of the reduction in 10 years time. However, if we able to integrate between Lean and IR 4.0, both methodology basically mutually enabling. The impact this integration is greater than the sum of the improvement achieved by either of the approach independently. Yeah, either you implement Lean then or IR 4.0. Yeah, so this mutual enablement basically able to reduce the cost of the organization by 40%, significantly 40% in 10 years time. Yeah. So it will magnify the of the Lean and IR 4.0. 1 minute. Briefly, we can see how Lean and IR 4.0 not only compatible, however, it can complement to each other due to they have the similar synergy. This approach or this integration basically offer the company the opportunity for them to achieve the higher level of efficiency in their production system or the supply chain. Yeah? In this particular subtopic, I will share on how Lean is coexist with IR 4.0. Yeah? Several examples. First, we need to know how can we capture the real-time data using RFID or using the IoT technology for VSM. As we know, VSM is one of the most essential tools in Lean, whereas we use the VSM to identify the process. We use the VSM to identify where is the bottleneck or the time track in the process. However, the VSM only provide a snapshot on the operation at a specific point of time only. Yeah? Whereas it is based on the data taken during our Gemba walk. Yeah? So we cannot have the totality or bigger view of the process, but by implementing Lean, by implementing the sensor technology such as the RFID or the IoT, the accuracy of VSM. Why? Because since we can capture more data, we can capture more data. What is happening at 10 a.m. today? What will happen at 4 p.m. later on? We can capture more data. More data will give us more insight. So even by having the RFID and IoT, it can reduce the effort of data collection. For those who have experience in game bawak, you know, you need to spend time the production floor or at where is the location value created, to identify, to observe what is happening, so on and so forth. It is so time consuming. So by using this technology, you can save your time, you can save your energy. How big data and machine learning shift the strategy of TPM, total productive maintenance. Total productive maintenance is one of the philosophy or tools in lean management that focusing or to ensure the process is stable by ensuring the equipment is well maintained. Hence, if the equipment is well maintained, we can reduce the probability of unplanned breakdown, shutdown or breakdown. So by have lesser number of breakdown, so we can eliminate a few other consequences such as the quality issue or the waiting time. So in this total productive maintenance, one of the two method in maintenance they use is a preventive maintenance, whereas you maintain the equipment based on the interval. Sometimes you maintain your equipment based on the time interval or the usage interval. Regardless the parts is worn or not. As long the interval it is you basically, as long you get into that particular interval, then you need to change the parts, regardless the parts can be used or not. However, by using nowadays people start to move from this preventive to the predictive. How predictive maintenance happen? Basically, it is based on the technician or the maintenance team. They need to collect the parameters of the equipment, such as the heat, vibration, and other parameters for them to identify or predict is the upcoming breakdown. So they can based on this analysis, they can prolong the parts usage. So it can reduce the time. However, please do remember the predictive maintenance, the data collection process is based on the manual process, whereas the technician is the one who is responsible to collect the data. So we only able to capture the information at one time at moment. However, by using the big data and machine learning in IR 4.0, we can monitor the equipment wears and load. Basically, not we, the machine itself will monitor these equipment parameters. So we can shift not even from preventive maintenance to predictive, but from preventive maintenance to prescriptive maintenance. Whereas the machine is the one will help us to decide when or where should we perform the maintenance. From preventive to prescriptive, there is a big gap. Okay, so we can prolong the usage of parts. And how in next how augmented reality will shorten the learning curve in autonomous maintenance. Other than preventive maintenance, there is one concept in TPM, we call it as the autonomous maintenance, and it refers to the empowerment of the employee to to perform the simple maintenance tasks such as cleaning the equipment, or oiling, or inspection. However, we need to remember, these people, they are not coming from maintenance department. This is their part-time task. So these operators or these workers require proper or formal training for them to know about the machine or equipment. Last time, the workers or operators need to access to the machine for them to learn about the machine. But nowadays, by having the augmented reality technology, we can utilize it by having the virtual learning. So the operators, the workers can learn about the equipment without accessing to the real equipment. They can access to the virtual equipment. Okay, now it can shorten the learning curve process. And finally, we can see how big data enable the Hejunka application. Hejunka or production leveling is one of the lean solutions to support the just-in-time pillar. It is based, basically it control the production rate, and it is based on the constant customer demand. So by having the big data analytic, we can forecast in more accurate, whereas big data analytic can provide the predictive model for this customer demand. Hence, we can control our production system in more stable. So, what's next? What do we need to do? When we talk about the Lean Industry 4.0, basically, we still need to have the structured approach for us to implement the Lean Industry 4.0 successfully. So this Lean Industry 4.0 journey comprises in 3 phases: the innovate, the pilot, and the scale up. In innovate phase, basically, it focuses on how the company must gain transparency into its business need by identifying what are the opportunities or the improvement opportunities within the organization. They need to highlight the pain point. So by highlighting this pain point, then the management need to prioritize where is the area that we should implement this Lean Industry 4.0. The prioritization maybe based on the value, or maybe based on the impact, or even from the investment point of view. So after that, they should establish the target for the every specific particular project. Then pilot, the objective of each pilot basically to develop the minimum workable solution quickly. Then over the time they need to improve. So by implementing this pilot, they should, or the management should able to validate the approach, either it is workable or not. And if it is workable, they should showcase the opportunity for the value creation for the rest. And by then, we should scale up the opportunity for the improvement. So the solution, the workable solution, the refined solution, the validated solution, basically are ready to launch at the scale out throughout the whole supply chain or the plant. So at this point, the company should conduct the proper rollout strategy. Yeah? And the company also should able to identify or to minimize the risk of deployment. That's another thing that we can discuss on. And finally, if the business aim to reach at the highest level of operational excellence, we cannot rely on implementing either of Lean or IR 4.0 individually. The competitiveness will go down over the time. But as we know, Lean tools is essential to unlock the potential of IR 4.0 and to prevent the automation of waste. But we need, or we still require IR 4.0 technology to accelerate the effect of Lean. So for any businesses that master or able to apply Lean 4.0 in this moment of time, they will be the operational excellence champion compared to the rest of the other competitor. They will gain the competitiveness level, higher competitiveness level compared to the rest. Yeah. So that's all from myself. Thank you very much. Yeah. So I pass back the floor to Usna.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Haris, for your presentation. Okay, actually we have one question from participants asking about Lean coexists with Industry 4.0, but many SME embarking into the Industry 4.0 journey without the foundation of the Lean itself. So how we can go from here to support them, to support the SME in Malaysia?
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for the question. Okay, then I myself also I embrace this situation. There's a lot of many SME embark into IR 4.0 without the foundation. Yeah, this is caused by awareness. This is caused by the awareness. Yeah, whereas we are focusing on the automation, but we are not focusing on the foundation of the automation itself. Yeah? As I mentioned earlier, we're not focusing on how important to have the efficient process upfront before we automate it. Yeah? Basically, a lot of SME nowadays. Yeah? From my observation, a lot of SMEs nowadays embark into IR 4.0 journey is due to a lot of initiative given for the IR 4.0. Yeah? So another thing that we can do, basically we need to embed ataupun include the importance, the education on how important to have the efficient process upfront before we start with the digitalization. Yeah, so education is important for meantime. So even I've worked with a few others agency nowadays to ensure that Lean and IR 4.0 is synchronized to each other. So we are not talking about the different initiative, because by having different initiative, then the organization will confuse. Banyaknya benda. Lean also you want to implement, IR 4.0 also you want to implement. So why not we integrate it upfront? Yeah, and that is That is my answer for it.
Okay, thank you. So I echo back what you said just now is Industry 4.0 can increase the competitiveness compared to the rest of the competitor. And also Lean is good, but not enough to compete because the resilience is nowadays has become tough. And that's why the Lean is very fundamental for the organization lah. Betul tak, Haris?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
So another one, we have another questions. How lean manufacturer use Industry 4.0 technology to boost efficiency, and how the Industry 4.0 can enhance the lean practices.
Ini dah macam balik pada presentation. Thank you very much. How lean, macam mana how lean become the foundation?
How lean can enhance the lean practices.
How lean can enhance? I don't get you, Cik Usna.
How lean can enhance lean practices.
Lean enhance lean practices.
Industry 4.0 can enhance lean practices.
Okay. Itu saya macam lean enhance lean practices.
Sorry.
Ini dah, this is something new. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so how IR 4.0 enhance lean practice ke? Yeah.
How Industry 4.0 can enhance the lean practices.
As I mentioned earlier, lean, when we talk about lean, the methodology is good. The methodology itself have a good intention. However, a lot of processes inside this lean manufacturing or lean management is rely on human or manual process. For instance, we know how important the VSM. Before you conduct any improvement, you need to perform the VSM. VSM we can use to identify the waste and so on and so forth. However, to develop the VSM, you need to perform the Gemba. Whereas you spend a lot of time for Gemba walk. Berpanas-panas, pergi ke production floor, do some data collection, you need to take time and so on and so forth. So by having this IR 4.0, it will automate the processes, the manual processes in lean. So if you want to perform the ataupun you want to plot your VSM nowadays, you don't need to perform the Gemba walk anymore. Download the data from the ERP. For instance, last time, if you want to plan for the hedging car, you need to calculate what is the product, customer orders, in details and so on. And nowadays, by having the integrated, one of the element or one of the pillar in IR 4.0 is the horizontal and vertical integrated system in the organization. Now, tak payah nak kira. You don't need to kira customer order and so on. Even we can forecast for the customer order by using the information in our system. So we can automate a lot of processes yang mana in lean tu dulu we rely on the manual processes.
So directly we can reduce the level of the process, the production.
We talk about not only labor, but we talk about the accuracy. Yalah, even if we talk about the data collection, manual data collection, kan, we are open to the bias, we are open to the error in data plotting and so on. So banyak benda we can benefit from this.
Setuju, betul. So okay, maybe the second question is related to the first one, which is they asked about how Lean 4.0 can help leverage the efficiency of the production.
Okay. By then we can look at either both way. It is integration of Lean and IR 4.0. As I mentioned earlier, we use Lean for design the efficient production process. at first we use Lean to design the efficient production process. Kita guna cell study, then we identify the flow study and so on and so forth. After that, after you identify this is the proper process, this is the right process that free from waste. Lepas tu baru kita automate kan using IR 4.0. So indirectly it will automate a lot of things.
So that's why Lean is the fundamental of the...
Lean is fundamental.
Right, correct. So, okay, we have another questions. What are the risks of an industry 4.0 solution? Because we know that some things is still have their own...
Risk.
So maybe there are a risk of the industry 4.0.
There's a lot of risk. When it involved with the kita kata breakthrough improvement. Industry 4.0 basically is one type of the breakthrough improvement. We do have the incremental improvement macam Lean incremental improvement. But IR 4.0 is a breakthrough improvement. When we talk about the breakthrough improvement, there's a lot of risk, such as the cost in deployment. Then we talk about the workable or not. Either we are highlighting the right issue or not. So the cost ni we need to perform the cost benefit analysis lah. Either we want to develop the solution ke, we want to rent the solution, or we want to collaborate the solution. That is another option that we can explore. Then risk yang macam it is workable or not, that is very important. Whereas this is why we are using Lean to identify where is the area ataupun where is the area that we can automate. In Lean, the idea in basically we will automate the routine process. Why we automate the routine process? We want to ensure, or we want to embrace the human function by assigning this human to high value punya task. For example, yang involve decision making, this is where human should perform. Bukan buat kerja-kerja masuk skru atau benda-benda yang sangat simple, no. Dia kata in Lean, human should involve in value added activities that involve the decision making. Yang mana robot tak boleh buat benda tu.
So it was a good investment lah actually, Mr.
Yes. So risk, a lot of risk.
Okay.
Contoh lagi risk, we don't know how to operate and maintain the technology. Itu risk lain pula. Okay. So if we talk about this incremental improvement, there's a lot of risk. By then we need to identify the risk upfront. Then because this is not Kaizen project tau. IR 4.0 is a big project. So before you implement it, you need to identify, you need to mitigate the risk earlier. Okay.
So actually by knowing first the needs and challenges as Mr. Haris presented tadi is very important lah. We need to know the needs and also challenges before implementing the industry 4.0. Right.
Betul.
Okay. And then we have another one's question. Actually, we got a lot of questions. Okay, we move to can we say that Lean is a management tool while Industry 4.0 is an upgrading system in operation? It is complementary for each other?
Yes, I agree. We can say that the Lean is a management tool and the IR 4.0 is a catalyst for it to boost up the effect of it. Because in Lean, it focus on it's not only focus on the process. What I've mentioned earlier, banyak pasal proses kan. But we need to understand the Lean also involve the culture part, the people part. Whereas in Lean, by using Lean, for instance, we do have Honshin Kanri. Honshin Kanri, how we communicate the company objective throughout the whole organization. Okay. It is similar to Western punya school ni lah, kan, management by objective kan, similar method lah. So we can see the Lean is beyond the tools for the process improvement. Dia jadi satu management system lah.
So when we talk about management, we have another one question regarding the leadership. They ask that when we are preparing for Industry 4.0 and Lean, what are the organizational leadership needed for?
Kejap Usna, tak dengar. Dah tak dengar. Saya tak dengar. Okey, boleh ulang balik.
Okay, boleh dengar?
Dah.
Boleh, okay. Okay, we have another question regarding the management. They ask, when we are preparing for Industry 4.0 and Lean, what are the organizational leadership needed for?
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah. So while we are preparing for IR 4.0 and Lean, what are the organizational leadership need for? Terus terang, first, the management or the leadership, number one, they should know their current condition. Bahasa kasarnya, kena sedar diri. Okay, so you need to know what is your current state, and you need to know what is happening in the ecosystem, business ecosystem. By then, you will know what is the gap, the business gap, business and the industry. So we are using, these are the tools. The tools is to close the gap. Itu je. At first, I want to highlight is you should aware of the gap. What is the gap that you want to close? Do not follow the rest. Ini satu masalah lagi. This is another thing that I see. There's a lot of businesses, they follow the trend. They follow the trend. The other competitor is implementing IR 4.0. Then we should to do so. Then they don't know why the competitor is implementing IR 4.0. For sure, the competitor is using the IR 4.0 to address their unique issue. They are using this technology B, technology C. Then kita tengok, kita kata, jiran sebelah ni pakai A, B, C. Do we want to follow the same thing also? But we are not facing the same problem. So at first, we need to identify the gap of our business and the industry. Jangan tiru orang. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Haris. Okay, so regarding one question, can I say in Lean, thinker and doers are different? And can we say in Industry 4.0, the doer and thinker are the same person? And our objective is to remove repeated process to automation and use people in value-added process. So is it about the industry for all about actually?
Okay. In Lean, the thinker and doer are different, but in IR 4.0, doer and thinker are the same person. On the Lean part, I'm not really agree. Whereas sometimes, most of the time in Lean, the thinker and doer also is the same person. Whereas we want to increase the to make the decision for them to improve their task. So in Lean sebenarnya we uphold the same person as the thinker and the doer. Yeah. But in IR 4.0, yes, maybe the doer and thinker also is the same person. Yeah. And the objective is we want to remove the repeated process to automation and use it in the value-added process. Okay. And when I said when in Lean, the thinker and the doer is the same person, the doer is referred to the person who implementing Lean. Bukan the doer is the one who is who is the implement the works and so on. The dua in here, thinker and doer, basically is refer to the one who think is the solution and the one who implement the solution. That's my answer lah.
So both are important lah for my implementation to implement the industry 4.0 actually.
Yes.
Okay, and then we move to the next questions. What are the challenges of hiring and retaining workforce 4.0 in the industry?
Okay, this question is interesting question. The challenges in hiring and retaining workforce 4.0. Undeniable. The consumer technology nowadays is become very fast. Whereas in hiring and retaining workforce, we do have a gap. Either you want to capture the experience or you want to capture the ability for the employee to understand about the technology. Why? Because currently, if you want to capture the experience higher, these are coming from the more senior generation. And IR 4.0, maybe for some of them is something new. For myself as well, if we talk about the data analytic or sensor technology, it's okay. By then, if you talk about lagi detail, lagi dahsyat cloud computing apa semua tu, myself pun hands out lah. The technology is so fast. However, if you are focusing to hire the new people yang memang excel in technology, but these people normally they are lack in term of the experience for the hands-on punya, hands-on experience lah. They lack in term of the hands-on experience. So you will get the technology part, tapi experience tu, process experience tu you are missing out lah. So itu mungkin challenges from what I can think of right now. You won't get dua-dua sekali, susah lah kot. Mungkin ada tapi mungkin susah. Because IR 4.0 is quite new for us.
Right. So the technology and also the experience must work together and align together lah. Okay. And then we have question. Seperti yang diketahui, VSM tool paling penting dalam Lean dan juga untuk identify waste. Dan saya setuju dengan Game Walk. Apakah contoh software ataupun aplikasi 4.0 yang digunakan untuk menentukan CSM dan juga FSM?
Okay. Thank you very much for the question. Yes, VSM is important tools. One of the things yang dalam IR 4.0 ni, satu masalah dia, we are lack of the on-shelf solution. We are lack of the on-shelf solution. So it means we need to integrate, or we need to integrate the system ni. So untuk menjawab apa contoh software tu use in the IR 4.0 ni, saya tak dapat lagi apa yang software yang boleh. However, the idea is to have the integration, sebab software, if you ask me software, I don't know software yang they use. Most of them they are using the in-house punya development. Dia tak ada macam sekarang kita boleh beli software, kata you want to develop nak buat VSM using quality companion ke apa semua. It's no software yet macam tu. However, sensor and their in-house software. So on-shelf software ni itulah IR 4.0 ni, itu like dia. Sebab based on the customization, saya tak dapat menjawab lah apa VSM software yang boleh digunakan. Mungkin maybe later on kita akan tengok how software on-shelf software macam like the quality companion, maybe later on it can integrate with the sensors macam RFID as I mentioned earlier. Yeah. Sekarang ni tak jumpa lagi lah.
Betul. So okay, like we can have another session after this, maybe within 1 month after this, to know more about the tools yang recognized under Industry 4.0 lah. Boleh Encik Aris?
InsyaAllah.
Okay, thank you. And then we have last question. Okay, does Industry 4.0 mean the end of the Lean? Should we put aside Lean initiative and bring in an Industry 4.0 expert to assess our readiness for the next wave of manufacturing?
When you say IR 4.0 is the end of Lean, as I mentioned earlier, it is not end of Lean. Basically, we need to work closely because each of approach they do have their own advantage. They have their own advantage. This is not about competition now. Nowadays, the world is about collaboration. The world is about collaboration. How you want to collaborate? What is the gain if we compete to each other? What is the gain if pro Lean compete with pro IR 4.0? We are losing. But you will get a lot of benefits if you can collaborate to each other. Yeah. So I don't see the IR 4.0 as the challenges for the Lean. And even from Lean is not a challenge for IR 4.0. Both basically, as I mentioned, both can coexist together because they share the same synergy, they share the same objective. So it won't replace mana-mana lah. Dia bukan pertandingan siapa menang.
It's complementary.
Complementary.
Right. Okay, so that's all from the Q&A. So thank you to our speaker today, Mr. Haris, for sharing his knowledge and also expertise with us today. What I can conclude that Industry 4.0 and Lean is important for us, for industry especially, and how it's to start is first we have to innovate, which is we need to know our needs, also challenges in our industry. Second, we need to have a pilot so that we can develop the minimum viable solution, and then after that we need to scale up so that we can deliver full potential through the integrated solution at the full scale. Okay, so I hope that all participants will gain a lot by attending this webinar. So before we end, I would like to promote our next webinar on Industry 4.0, Big Data versus Smart Data for Factory, that will be held next week, 2nd December. And kindly register to attend the webinar by scanning the QR code on your screen. And also you can click the link in the chat box. So hope to see all of you again in our next webinar. Stay safe, stay healthy, and let's innovate to boost productivity. Thank you, Mr. Haris. Thank you all.
You're welcome, Fausna. Thank you for your attention. Okay.
Okay, Cik Haris boleh stay untuk sesi bergambar. Okay.
Ready, 1, 2.
1, 2, 3.
All right.
Okay, thank you everyone.
Okay, you're welcome.
Okeynya. Memang sejam ke saya klik saya?